What's up, everyone? So today I'm going to start installing this High Roller Pro ignition system from Aces. I'm putting it in my 66 Volkswagen Type 1. Gonna do the ignition first, and I've locked the distributor out, and I'll set a timing curve in the CDI box and drive with that for a while, make sure it all works properly and everything before installing the EFI system and going through all of that. I do eventually want the EFI to control the timing, so that's my plan. I'll end up switching it over, and letting it control the ignition CDI box. But so today I'm going to try to hold the camera and while trying to install some of this stuff. So it's the full kit. I've already locked out the distributor. We've got the CDI box, the ignition coil, the handheld. Those are the wires, plug wires. I'm going to use these battery terminals to make all my connections directly to the battery. My ignition on, I'm going to put this relay in to where it's just a signal, and it will still come off of the battery even for the ignition on switch. So yeah, I'm going to get started. So rather than drilling any holes in the body, I'm hoping to just pull the wire through the quarter panel and into the rear. The only ones that are needed is the distributor and the coil wires. Later on, when the EFI controls it, the distributor will come from the EFI wiring harness. So I'll just disconnect this one, and the only thing powered from this will be the coil. So let me see if I can pull this through. Managed to drop my phone. Going to mount the coil right in here. These are the coil wires. We'll just lay this behind the seat and lay the CDI up in the package tray. Okay, the coil is mounted. Got the distributor wire over here. It's a TDC on number 1. So about to pull this distributor and insert the ACES. Had to install this little spacer. I have a feeling that my oil pressure sending unit is going to be in the way, so I may have to modify that. One-handed. I went ahead and installed the distributor off camera because it's just too much trying to do it with one hand. Had to cut plug wires to length and all that also. The instructions are a lot to be desired. It does not really tell you anything. Lock the distributor out. So I've set it at its max. It's locked out, max timing, and then hopefully in the software, you know, be able to set the retard curve. So we'll go from there. Okay, there it is installed. Hopefully. Have a relay for the ignition on. Spliced into the main harness for the ignition on. And then of course the power leads go direct to the battery. When I put the EFI in, it'll connect all the same way, the relays for it, into these battery post terminals. And so now I need to power it on and see if I can figure out the software for programming. Alright, finally got it figured out. It was a mess. So the software at first wouldn't let me program the curve. Every time I would try to save it, it said that it was lost connection, timed out, and I went in and tried to download new update online and put the USB drive in, and it wouldn't recognize any files. I had to figure that out because I need to update it before the EFI, because when it controls timing, there's a new update out that solves a couple of problems. So definitely want to get the update for that. But the file was still on here, so I just reinstalled it, and then it was able to save the retard curve and all of that. But it's all a little backwards from what you would think. So, at least for me, it seemed backwards. But I guess if you think about it, it's called a retard curve. So, you know, you drop down instead of go up. So I done that first, and it was all over the place. Then I figured this out. You have to, what you mechanically set your distributor at, you have to set that in here and push lock. And yeah, there it is. It says 31 until you start it. It's about 15, and goes up from there. I've driven it. It does fine. Drives just like it did before. So yeah, I will catch y'all on the next. Have a good one.